Legado.
You are watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire YouTube wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leck.
Together we are
Robbery.
Welcome, family, to Tuesday night. It's time to talk about NXT. You know, there's a lot of shows they were taped already in advance because they're trying to rebrand. They're trying to completely change the concept, give us new things. So yeah, you can see like WWE is just like in this case, they're just trying to be like, okay, put whatever, whatever it comes out. It doesn't matter because, everybody's just waiting for that rebranding and everything. But what do you think, Paul?
I mean, overall, there's a lot of segments that on paper, okay, yeah, this will be good. I'm looking forward to this. But then in execution, the way they did them tonight, no, not so much. And, the show started off not very good, and that trend pretty much just continued until the end. I mean, there was one or two pretty decent matches, but just maybe the endings and just the predictability, just overall not a very good show.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Absolutely right. So, family, but we're going to be, talking about everything that went on the show. Don't forget to support us right here with the Monday Night Raw review. Yes. Also, the RK Bros reign supreme. Decent match with, Bobby Lashley and also MVP for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Also, a wonderful triple threat match for the United States Championship. Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, and Damien Priest. A lot of changes in last minute on the show. Paul, did you like that? Because a lot of matches were advertised. Neither one of them actually happened on the show.
Yeah, I mean, I did definitely like the triple threat match for the United States Championship, but I mean the main event, RK Bros, Bobby Lashley. I mean, it doesn't look good seeing him Bobby Lashley eat an RKO and just having that team lose. It just doesn't do good. But obviously, you weren't going to take the titles off these guys, so I didn't like that booking. But go check out the Swan Song Monday Night Raw review.
Exactly, family. So, Paul, tell me a little bit about how the NXT started. With Sheree going against Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose coming back to NXT after so many years in the main roster. It was kind of like her debut match. And I don't know, you always mention this, communication issues. Maybe Sheree, her English is not great yet, so she's still learning. And, Mandy is not a ring general. We know that. So, the match turned out to be a little bit, there were some troublesome spots, things like that. And in the end, we get to see, this big kick, of course, that's one of the signatures moves that Sheree does. But that actually kind of is not confirmed yet. But Mandy Rose, they say that she got injured. Maybe, like you said, it can be playing into storyline. But what did you think overall?
Yeah, I mean, overall, I was thinking, okay, Mandy Rose is new here on NXT. They compared her to a Finn Balor, as in, maybe she'll have the same effect coming down to NXT. Her career will be revitalized. And I'm thinking, okay, so that sounds like they're going to push her, but they're really pushing Sarray when they brought her in. So this match I thought was going to end in some kind of bullshit. And then when she hit the drop kick, the overselling by Gigi and was it Jessie Jane or Jessie, whatever her name is, the overselling by the two of them. Oh my God, look what you did. They're freaking out. So I'm like, to me, if it's like a shoot injury, you're kind of quiet because you're like, oh my God, you're like, oh shit. But the way they were over exaggerating it and they put the towel over her head and Sarray kind of looked confused. I'm like, I feel like this is all,
very confused. Exactly. Yeah.
I'm like, I think it was all a work. I think it's just a storyline because you didn't want to bury either of these two women. You didn't want to give them a loss. Sarray already lost. You don't want to give her another loss already. So I figured they would do a bullshit finish, and that's
to favor both of them. That's a good thing, but that's our NXT star. Like I said, Sheree is one of the ones that she has not got a good debut on NXT. She has not gone for the championships. No meaningful feuds there. So we'll see. Maybe the focus is going to help her out.
I think you said it, or one of us said it. Last week or previous week, we said her big feud was Toni Storm, and then whoop. Tony Storm, exactly. And then now they're like, oh, we don't know what to do with you.
And they don't even know what to do with her on SmackDown. Yeah. So, tell me about this match that I was actually really, really good. I unfortunately, as good as it is, it's hard to get into it because you know who the winner is going to be. And that was Kyle O'Reilly against Duke Hudson. Very, very good, physical, rough, really intense between the two. And I think that Hudson looked even better than Kyle O'Reilly, because Kyle O'Reilly took a lot of his offense, but in the end, you get to see right there, the submission hold, and that, pretty much Duke Hudson had to tap out. He forced him to tap out or submit. I like that better. So in the end, Kyle O'Reilly looks better because at some point, he's going to end up challenging Samoa Joe.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I mean, you pretty much, said the narrative of this whole match. They were going to put Duke Hudson over because the guy is so good. He's massive. He can talk. Just look at the guy. To me, that's like Vince's wet dream is this guy. And it's like, that, but Kyle O'Reilly is the star in NXT. He's not going to beat Adam Cole in that match and then lose here to Duke Hudson clean in the middle of the ring. No. So you knew he was going to win. But like you said, he sold most of the match. They'll come back at the end. He gets the ankle lock or the knee bar, whatever they call it. He gets that in there and done. And, it's good. And Kyle O'Reilly, I like him if he's just a little more serious. Tone down the jokiness. But who knows the direction of NXT? If you want to throw up the new logo, who knows the direction that they're going. Let's see.
That's going to be like the main factor. Like maybe they will keep doing this Kyle O'Reilly, or they will give us a better version, like a serious.
Do you have a picture of the logo?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Family. This is what the new logo is going to look like. A 10-year-old probably did this. I don't understand the combination of the colors. It looks absolutely god awful. It looks like Sesame Street, like I mentioned in the Monday Night Raw review. But what do you think, Paul? Is like really, it's put together. I don't see the artistry behind this. I don't see talent behind this. Just like whatever.
And I'm like, is it a whole rebranding? Are your ropes going to be paint splatter tie dye like this? I don't understand what it is. I don't have a problem with tie dye or anything like that. But I'm like, I don't understand it because it's like Raw is black and red. SmackDown is like the white and blue, or like black and blue.
And the combination, you have the colors,
yellow and black. It's like they all are one color, and then like a black or a white. That, and then this is just boom, random colors, and it's, to me, like you said, it makes you feel like a kid. It looks like a kid show.
And that's the big issue. And also, like, the problem is, like, I think they're gonna go down for like the metal-y, like really hard rock, like a version of the theme song. Well, is gonna be the one that is gonna have the song for like NXT. We'll see, because if it is bad, you can say bye of NXT on Raw break. But don't forget, in 2 weeks we're gonna get like the wedding of also like Indy Hartwell and Dexter Lumis, that they're gonna be getting married. Like, it's not the first time that there's been a wedding on NXT. A lot of people forget about Goldust. He actually had a wedding on NXT on the early days of NXT. So I mean, this is whatever. I mean, like, again, if it's gonna be a kids show, this is the kind of thing that you can put on TV. But something, Paul, that like you absolutely love, and this is like Ilya Dragunov coming out and addressing the WWE universe, in this case the NXT universe. Like, he comes out and he delivers a really good promo, and he says kind of like the same thing that Charlotte said last week, though. Long live to the king, or like the queen. Now it's long live to the Tsar. But that he was selling the injury yet. He was still limping, so that was good. And also, Paul, like the one thing, I mean, I didn't appreciate the fact that like he didn't do this on NXT UK. He should have done that over there, not here.
Yeah, and I'm hoping, and maybe it's because, like you said, they pre-taped a lot of stuff, and obviously, they probably pre-taped a good amount of stuff with him. And he did say the line, because they were like, please don't go. He said, don't worry, I'll be back. So at least he didn't say, oh, I'm not going anywhere for a while. That would have been bullshit. I would have completely hated that. So at least he said, I'll be back. So it's like, hey, guys, maybe at a takeover. And this guy's not going to stay on NXT UK forever. He's too good. He's had this exposure. They're going to want him here, NXT, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, wherever at some point. So, but, he's going to go back to NXT UK. Hopefully he's on this week's show. But, I like this promo. The only thing, it just felt a little too, Monday Night Raw, main roster.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe actually NXT UK benefits from no crowd.
No, yeah. But
I don't know, because, like,
because it's just matches.
Yeah, he goes to cut a promo, and they're like, you deserve it. And I'm like, I wouldn't say you deserve it. I'd be like, you earned it. You fucking went to the depths of hell, beat Walter, and won that champion. Not you deserve it. You earned it. Like,
and everybody that wins the championship, you deserve it. I'm like, okay, everybody.
To me,
like, all those chants completely done.
When you say somebody deserves it, it makes it sound like it was given to them, which makes it sound like it's worked. So
yeah, exactly. So like tell me a little bit about Kylie Ray. Kaylee J, like she's back. Yeah, but from NXT UK. And probably nobody knows who she is. We do, because we actually cover NXT UK ever since their return, the rebrand. So she just mentioned that she's here because, of course, she accomplished everything that she has to do on NXT UK. So now it's time for her to look for new horizons, new opportunities, new challenges. And that's what she's here. She says, "Oh, Io Shirai," and now Io Shirai is hiding because she's in the tag division. Like she said, all the girls like Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez. So she puts everybody on notice that she's gonna stay here in America. Good promo, Paul. I think that like you're loving this, and she's gonna be a major player in the women's division at least.
Yeah, I agree with all that. The only thing I wish it was a little bit more NXT UK. Call me a mark for that show, whatever. You're not wrong, but I really wish it would have been like, oh, I was the longest reigning women's champion. Like, really went into it. I beat everybody. I beat Meiko Satomura. She came in with all this buzz. I beat her. Toni Storm beat her. All these women, beat them. She just was kind of going. Didn't really mention them, go into it too much. Kind of just went after the women here. Like you said, calling a bunch of them out. We see kind of where the first feuds are going to take place. I would say maybe Zoe Stark, Io Shirai, all this stuff. But then we see the match with Ember Moon. But boom, spoiler alert, she's not going to lose to Ember Moon.
Oh, exactly. No.
Ember Moon, hey, you were tag champ for a month or two. After that, nah.
Yeah, right here. She was right there. She came back, actually. She said that she's, she's been away from NXT for like a few weeks. She was injured. All of these things, but she said, oh, well, Kaylee Ray. Okay, let's do it. So next week, they're going to have a match, and like you said, like here, Gory Bomb and done.
Yeah,
Gory Bomb and done.
And
unfortunately, Ember Moon wasted opportunity. Yeah. The girl has not had anything yet.
I just want to make it clear, I do like Ember Moon. To me, she could be a really good baby face. You push her like before, but I feel like her mystique that she had when she was, first, in the hunt and became champion, that's all gone.
Oh, no.
So I don't know how. And to me, when she came back, she would have had it. You could have pushed her, put the belt on her, and people would have got behind it. But then the division with Shotzi and all that,
exactly. And you know what? You know what? Like the main issue is like
talent,
that, the music was taken away from her. The mystique. Remember, like the contacts that she used to wear, all of that gone. So move on, Paul. Like we get to see like Santos Escobar, Legado del Fantasma now with Elektra Lopez. Like they go interrupted a promo by Carmelo Hayes because he was saying, well, like I have the contract, so I don't know which way I'm gonna go. Most people are saying I'll go with Kushida. Most people say I might go to Isaiah Swerve Scott. Who knows? I might just go and challenge Samoa Joe. But Santos Escobar, so the United States Championship is my thing. Don't be bullshit. Don't be interfering in my plans. So, he's like, oh, did he just threaten me? So, like, you see that, like, there's going to be a match next week between these two. It is just to favor Santos and at the same time kind of use the breakout star or the winner of that tournament. So, decent, right? It's pretty decent.
The only thing I'm going to say about this I don't like is just have him just challenge somebody. Or maybe like he just waits. Maybe he goes, hey, he's doing his, they have a feud right now. Carmelo Hayes is just going to wait right now. He doesn't need to challenge somebody. Because let Santos and Swerve Scott finish their thing.
Yeah.
Before, because what are you going to do? Are you going to job out Santos? Because are you going to job out the guy who just won this breakout tournament?
Yeah. Oh, no, maybe like you said, Swerve Scott will come out in the middle of it, and then, that way everybody just stays good. But like you said, I don't know why they do this. Like, he should be just feuding with somebody else, not somebody that already has a feud in it. So, like, for example, one of these guys. Drake Maverick still on TV, still employed by the WWE. That's surprising. A lot of people, don't understand why. But like he was with one of like the cruiserweight guys. Why, Paul? Because Drake Maverick is actually a commentator now on 205 Live. How do we know? Maybe I read too much like the spoilers of the dare sheets because I will never watch that show. And they go against Imperium. And, of course, this is just to showcase Imperium. These guys, like you said, the best thing that they should have done with these guys is send them back to NXT UK. Why? Because they have better opportunity to be more impressive. And then be more impactful than here. But here, European bomb and done.
Yeah, and that's how the match should have went. These guys, it's bad when Drake Maverick is the serious one on the team. That's when you know it's bad. But, I really want to know what you think do you think Walter and Imperium are in NXT on Tuesdays to stay for now, or do you think they're going to go back to the UK?
I hope that they go back. Like I said, like they need, like the UK needs a little more, just because, like I said, here I don't know, like especially knowing what the show is gonna be we don't know what the main focus is gonna be. We don't know what the main theme. We don't know like everything. It seems to me like it's gonna become like a Vince McMahon thing. It really becomes a Triple H. Like if he allows to have that awful logo.
I forget who it was. It was somebody, who's in like the wrestling, business community, whatever, a writer or somebody. They said like the one thing that they hope is that Vince McMahon never finds out that he owns NXT UK.
Oh yeah,
if he finds out that he owns them, he'll be like, "Oh, I gotta change his whole show.
I gotta change it. I gotta make it my way, and then done." Exactly. So that's what's happening with the your Imperium. We'll see what happens. Now let's move on to like Johnny Gargano and Dexter Lumis because they're still they're kind of family now because of Indy Hartwell and everything that we mentioned. And he says, "Can you just talk, dude?" He's like quiet all the time. Can you just be normal? Can you just be legit for once? Can you just be like regular guy and everything? And then like you see Indy's like no, I love him the way it is. Laps the ass. That's fine. All legit. And why? Because he was gonna have the match against LA Knight, Johnny Gargano and LA Knight, and it was pretty decent. But like the one thing, I do like the fact that LA Knight won, but like here you see Indy completely selling the story with Dexter, completely in love with him. So, what did you think? I think, for me...
Yeah, the match itself was good. I like Gargano as a wrestler. He's good. LA Knight, we're both big fans of him. We said, this guy was on life support after losing that awful feud with Cameron Grimes. So it's good he gets the win here, but the win was so stupid. Like, what did Gargano what was he even distracted by? He like looked out at Lumis and Indy. He went to go like talk to him or fist bump him or he just like stuck his head out for no reason. LA Knight hit his finisher and done. And it was such a weird ending. I wasn't even exactly sure what was going on.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like you got to see like so, and then that the distraction and allow LA Knight to hit that like face buster that he does, and then like get the win. But you see like problems between these guys. So we'll see what happens. But at least LA Knight gets a win, which is good because he needs this kind of wins. Because like you said, like Cameron Grimes completely kill him. So Paul, let's go to the next one, and that is like MSK asking like William Regal, like we want actually the champions asking for like a match against Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan. He's like, they kind of deserve a championship, so we're fighting champs. Regal accepts, it's gonna be fine. They love that. And for me, this is like these tag team champions, are kind of like the worst that I've seen. I don't know what you feel about it, but I'm not ever gonna be behind these guys.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not a fan. Like I said, when you brought him in, if you change the character and maybe say, hey, don't do some of the stupid moves, just kind of keep it more legit, like exactly it. Just don't do any of the crazy stuff. Maybe these guys could get over, but their gimmick's not good. I don't think they're that good in the ring. They're not believable as champs at all. So no,
exactly.
I mean, to me, just put the belts back on Lorcan and Burch.
Exactly. So like Paul, let's go to the next one, and that is Raquel Gonzalez going against Jessi Kamea. And Raquel pretty good in the ring, of course. Jessie's just kind of like the enhancement talent that they have right now for this feud. Why? Because what do you think right there in the picture? What do you see? Like she's staring at Frankie Monet. So Raquel pretty quickly with like the chokeslam powerbomb that she does 1, 2, 3 gets the win. But the main story here, like the headline, is just this. They stare down, almost same height, same power. So this is gonna be the feud for the women's championship, and I know you're excited because I am. And hopefully, here we see a title switch, just because maybe Raquel can go to different things, and maybe Frankie, or unless Frankie's gonna go with Johnny Drip Drip, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. To me, I hope it's the first. I hope we see because you have Robert Stone, you have Jessi Kamea. Now Raquel has nobody. Raquel's the baby face, so Frankie's the heel. If Frankie cheats to win here, that also really solidifies her as the heel, and that's fine. If maybe Raquel gets called up. Like we said, a lot of women, Dakota Kai, she was in a dark match, like you said. So maybe they're going to be calling a lot of these women up because this roster is so deep in the women's division on NXT.
Exactly. So like that's the one thing is like at least they have that thing going. At least some little things are good. Tell me a little bit about this promo with Samoa Joe. The exclusive interview, kind of like addressing the NXT universe. What were his thoughts about like the winning the championship? Who is he aiming? Who's gonna be the first opponent? How is he gonna like be portrayed as a champion? What is he gonna do to carry this brand to a different level? So like we said, Joe was the one thing. Joe is very educated and very like good when it comes to these promos, but sometimes the verbiage is, I don't know if it is like easy enough to digest, meaning you have to use a language that is more like broad rather than like that complicated as like, so I mean I get what he said, but do I really want to keep hearing it? No.
Yeah, I feel like this wasn't a Samoa Joe promo. This was like some writer was like, okay, Joe, say all of this stuff exactly. Not because you can tell when Samoa Joe's out there in the ring and he's fired up and he's screaming, that's his own promo. But this felt like somebody wrote this for him, and he's either trying to read it off a cue card or he's trying to memorize it. And he's like, yeah, so I scouted people. I did this, I'm the champion, new direction, and it's like, it doesn't feel believable. Like you said, he speaks good. He's very educated, but it's just, it doesn't resonate because it's not his.
Exactly. So, that's what I think that it happened. But like, this is what Samoa Joe, like, we don't know who's going to be the first opponent. We can be Kyle O'Reilly. I think it's going to be Pete Dunne. And that's going to be good, but we'll see when's the next takeover. But the rebranding also is going to dictate what kind of champion he's going to be or what kind of says he's going to be able to say. So we'll see what happens for Paul. And now let's go with like, here's like, this guy is like Roderick Strong going against, what is his name? Hideo or Heyo?
Isn't that icky man Jiro?
Yeah, Jiro. There you go. Jiro. Yeah, exactly. So Jiro against Roderick Strong, and this is why, because Jiro is a bit good friends with Kushida. So then they're saying like, hey, he's gonna beat him this time. He's gonna like get Kushida, like ready for Roderick Strong, so they can have that cruiserweight championship match. But in the end, like Roderick Strong, really legit stuff. He's like actually, I think he lost a lot of weight to be able to challenge to Kushida, and then he wins with like that suplex that he does, like Brainbuster, and then you see Diamond Ma, and it's me, Kushida. That's gonna be the money match. we're going to be having a great bout. So, I mean, good stuff. But like I said, Kushida needs to be more in NXT. I don't know what's going on, but I feel that this is one of like the few things that can go really well.
Yeah, I mean, and we see some new guys there, and it's kind of funny how they're all bigger than Roderick Strong, but he's the main guy. But no, I mean, yeah, this match did exactly that. Roderick looked dominant, him versus Kushida. I feel like Kushida is going to lose the Cruiserweight Championship, which he should, because you really got to get Roderick over in this group. But it's like, man, what a shitty title reign Kushida had. I couldn't tell you a memorable match. You know what I mean? Like, they're all...
That's the one thing.
I think he had a match with Kyle O'Reilly, but he lost. It wasn't for the belt, but he lost.
Exactly, done. So, let's move to the next one, because we're going to have a lot of championship matches next week. That's the one thing NXT always tries to do, is give you these matches so at least the show is more watchable, bearable, or like enjoyable. Enjoyable is like a big word, because I don't know if it is, but at least, we have to see Io Shirai and also Zoe Starks, and we have to see Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter, and then it's like, well, you girls are not a team. We are. We're best friends. We sleep with the same man. We do everything with the same guys. We exchange, man. And like Io is like, well, I don't like you, and you're my partner, so whatever. So like we're gonna see this match. So what do you think? I mean, for me, title is not gonna change hands at all.
No, I mean, I'd be surprised if it does, unless Kaylee Ray comes out and fucks them both, and then that's the only thing I can think. If she comes out and she super kicks somebody and done, and the ref don't see it, and then for some reason these baby faces, instead of being legit, like, oh, Kaylee Ray is out here, they take advantage of it and get the pin. And, take the belts. I really don't know. I mean, I could see that. And then maybe they hold the belts for 2 weeks and then they drop it to another heel team, because I don't see them being credible at all. I think their combined height is like 6 feet tall. So, they're not, to me, credible at all. But we got to see, what they decide.
Exactly. So, like, we're going to see also next week, like I mentioned, Tag Team Championship MSK against Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. That is going to be another one that they're not going to lose those championships. Why? Because, like I said, these shows are being taped. So, no news have come out of that, but like this, Cameron Grimes, like also like jobbing like the Grills Young Veterans. This sucks. He dropped like the replica of like the $1 Million Championship onto Gibson. This absolutely blows. So I don't know, Paul, but like at least To the Moon is good, but he needs more other type of people to like have feuds with, not a tag team. Not a tag team.
Yeah, and you already see these guys are doing goofy comedy skits, so that means they're grooming them, getting them ready for Monday Night Raw with the goofy comedy skits run wild. I can see them and the Viking Raiders playing golf and, playing Frisbee and all these other bullshit, things. But, yeah, this wasn't good. Cameron Grimes, you could do so much better with him, so much better with the Grizzled Young Veterans. Send them back to NXT UK. That's the only thing I'd say.
Exactly. No, you're right. So now let's go to the main event, and the main event was actually Tomasso Ciampa against Rich Holland. Pretty good match, and I thought that Rich Holland was going to go over just because he's like the stronger, he's the muscle, and also he's like a new guy from like this group that Pete Dunne has, and also like because of the injury and everything. But in the end, Tomasso Ciampa is still like one of the founding fathers of NXT, so for that reason he gets the win. Widow's Belt, Super DDT, 1, 2, 3, and then Rich Holland, all the hype done, all completely gone. So aren't you kind of surprised that they did this?
Yeah, especially with what happened, everything after the match, because, I don't think, and you don't even, you could have had Pete Dunne, like maybe they are on the outside and he's walking near the glass or wherever Pete Dunne was, and then, he like hits the plexiglass, or something like distracts Ciampa, and then Rich Holland somehow takes over, hits his finish, where it's like, because Rich Holland should have went over. I mean, and, throughout this match, Ciampa, I thought, was in control, slamming him on the announce desk, the big knee, all this stuff. Ciampa was in control a lot of this match, but, Rich Holland was right in it as well. So, but, I was surprised at the end, like, the Widow's Bell and done. And then it's like, okay, to me, Rich Holland, it's not like he's done. He loses all his momentum. I think, the guy's still credible and everything. Like, Ciampa's one of the stars here. It's not like, oh, he got beat by like Icky Man, Jiro, or whoever. He got beat by Tommaso Ciampa. But as soon as the bell, his music plays for 2 seconds, boom, they start beating him down. They start kicking Ciampa's ass. I'm like, it would have been better if Rich Holland won. Ciampa's in the ring, and Rich Holland starts beating him up just by himself. And then then the other heels come in. Then they start beating him up, and then MSK comes out if that's what you need to do, but. We see this, and I'm like, this sucks. Are we going to see a 6-man tag? Hopefully not. I think this is just to hype it up. I think we're going to see Ciampa versus Pete Dunne. Obviously, that would be the progression of things here. And I think that'll secretly be like a number 1 contender.
Exactly. So I would comes out.
Yeah, I would put Pete Dunne over in that. So, like, echoing what you said earlier about Pete Dunne being number 1 contender. I would do that because you don't really want to see babyface versus babyface for Joe's first feud.
Especially because, I don't want also Ciampa to be the NXT champion again. Let Joe have it. You know, or like put it that don't be done. He's earned it. Like you said, instead, he doesn't deserve it. He's earned it. So, you know, I like that. But this was pretty much NXT. So, family, you know, not a great show. Maybe little things. Like, we're not really waiting for the rebranding just because we want different things from the show. That there's, like, also, like, 3 more weeks that is tape. Like, they already did a lot of shows just because they were completely redoing the whole design of the show. So, but we'll still be covering, family. So, thank you so very much for that. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and also, you know, follow us where?
And that's Rope Break on Facebook, OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok. And, of course, right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
So, family, you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...